Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we're taking a look at some performance tool jumper cables. So these are going to be 8 gauge and 12 feet long cables. They are an affordable and compact cable set that you can keep inside your car in case of emergencies. Now make sure you have the right cables for your vehicle though. Since these are 8 gauge, they're great for those passenger vehicles, those smaller SUVs. If you have a really large SUV or a really large truck, you're gonna need a smaller number gauge. So the smaller the number, the bigger the power it can provide. So you may wanna look at our 2 or our 4 gauge options for those larger vehicles. So this is gonna be very lightweight, very compact. I wish it had a bag that goes with it, but I do recommend maybe just getting a rubber band, wrapping that around it, or putting it with your emergency bag of tools and supplies. Once you got it, go ahead, get it, and get it set up. So we're gonna connect our positives and our negatives. So we're gonna start on the dead battery, or the battery vehicle that needs to be boosted. So you can see here that these are straight clamps, which means they go straight in. Some other jumper cables, they have 90-degree clamps, and those are easier when it comes to not that much space inside the engine bay. So definitely depends on where your battery is. Either way, this is gonna fit right into that post. You also have 2 options here. So if you have a smaller post, you can use this tip. And if you have a larger post, you can use these teeth. So in our case here, we're just gonna connect the tip. Now the directions say to connect the positive side on the other vehicle. Really, the most important thing is just to make sure that your positive and your negative clamp, which is the black one, don't connect or touch each other. Let's talk about the tension of the clamps. So you want a good balance of it, which I think we find here. You don't want too much tension where you are unable to grip the clamp, but you don't want too little tension where it slips off of your battery. So in our case here, even though we have a little bit of movement, it's staying on that battery post, it's holding on to it, and I say we have good tension. Now is the tricky part. Where is the person jumping you? Where do they get to park their car? Ideally, they'd be able to park right beside you, but sometimes they need to pull up to the front or they need to pull up to the back. So if that's the case, this is gonna be a 12-foot long cable. How long is 12 feet? Well, we have it connected to the driver's side on that car. We're parked in the next parking space, and we can just make it to the driver's side of the next parked car. So for your different cars, there's gonna be different access points. So I have a Prius here where the battery is actually in the back, but there are some plug-in or jumping points in the front. So if I was jumping the Prius, I would go find that. Now for your other vehicles, make sure it goes positive to positive and then negative to ground. So whether the ground is a negative post or a secure part of the engine block, go ahead, find that and clamp to it. So once you've connected the cables from the dead battery to the booster battery, then turn on the booster car. Give it a couple minutes and then try to start your dead car. If your car still doesn't start, try to give it a little bit of gas and try to start again. Once everything is running, then take off the cables in the reverse order of how you put them on. So my thoughts about these jumper cables is you can really see how they're designed to be an affordable option for your passenger cars or your SUVs. I prefer that there were more options for carrying or storage, like a bag or even a cable tie to go around them. But really, I'm not planning on using them much. That way it's ready to go when I need it or in cases of emergency. So remember, this is gonna be 8 gauge, which is good for those passenger vehicles. Plus, it's gonna be 12 feet long, so make sure whoever's boosting you is parked close enough to reach you. But that right there was a look at our performance tool jumper cables that are 8 gauge and 12 feet long here at etrailer.com.